Joe, you want to start us off by showing off your 10-inch rack?
Want to see all of it or just enough to win?
Joe likes to make jokes.
That's actually a reference to a movie that no one's ever watched.
What was the movie?
National Lampoon's Last Resort. Corey Feldman and Corey Haim.
I think I saw it.
Interesting cast. I'm surprised I haven't heard of it.
R.I.P. Corey Haim.
So this is the 10-inch rack. It's coming right along. I am still 3D printing parts. It just takes a long time because the parts use a lot of plastic and they're huge. And so here's where the Netgear switch is going to go. Might move it around to the back or make this the back and this the front. And then I have two shelves that are printed. One that broke actually during printing during the HPR New Year's live show.
Damn.
Yeah, and then I have the back panels, or a back panel so far that I've printed, and a couple of top panels that I printed. And I had to change the STLs for the 2U ones, split them, and then put them together so that they would actually fit on my print bed. And after that one broke because it was a long, tall print, I modified this print so that I could also print it in two pieces together with some small screws. I think that worked out really well, and it seems to be pretty darn stable. You can see that there's I'm pressing down on it pretty good, and there's no real movement there. So I think that's coming along really good. And then I'm currently printing a plate to hold a mini PC. It's supposed to be the same size as the HP mini PCs, but Moss is sending me one of the Think Center minis, no longer using, so I'm going to put that in there. And then I'm thinking about printing a pass-through Ethernet plate, buying some of the fittings pass through so that way I can loop the Ethernet from the Netgear back around to the inside for however many items I want to put there. I'm also going to print a shelf specifically designed to hold Raspberry Pis and move some of my less used Raspberry Pis on there. And this all came from the I saw a 10-inch rack online, the Geek Pi 8U server cabinet 10-inch server rack for network servers, audio and video equipment, Desk Pi Rackmate T1 rack mount.
Hey, hold it up again real quick. Wait.
So also the link to what he's trying to 3D print a version of is both in the show notes and in the mumble chat.
What was is that a silk?
Yes, this is. Okay. I got this silk, and my daughter might be annoyed that I use it because she got it for me for Christmas.
Yeah.
And I guess I was supposed to 3D print pretty things out of it, but I wanted this. So
that is a pretty
this.
thing.
Yeah, yes. It's a pretty thing.
I like
and
it.
It's going to get a lot. It's going to get a lot of use.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's going to look cool.
You look at it all the time.
Yep. But no, but I had seen a couple of YouTube videos on this one, and obviously mine's not going to be, as nice as this one, but it costs like $180. And then the individual racks that you can buy are like $20-$30. And I just didn't want to do that, but I kind of wanted to make my own. So I did look for like 3D prints that were complete for these, but I couldn't find anybody that had, actually like made one that wasn't extremely overcomplicated and had like 10,000 parts, and they were saying used like 2 spools or something just for the frame. So I found some of the rails and I put those together, and they're just 2 4U rails, and then I designed and printed these connectors on them that just go completely over the portion of the rails that's meant to screw into something else. and that allows me to have a total of 8 U's without blocking any of the ports. And I used a 4U on the bottom and the top, but I didn't know if that was the correct length, which is why I was trying to print out a full shelf so that I could make sure that the length was correct. And it's so close that it makes no difference to me, because instead of like both of the outer lips fitting on the outside, one fits on the outside and one fits on the inside. So I can still screw it into place really well, and it holds excellently. And it's very sturdy now that I've actually got stuff in it. Like once I get things in the middle, I think it will be even more sturdy and solid. And then I'm debating whether or not to make handles on the top. After I put my wireless router here, I'm going to redo these and probably move these panels to the back for stability and just for general aesthetic. And then with the shelf on the top and the handles there, it'll basically, if I wanted to like 3D print side panels as well, I'd have to design them myself, but that's not that big a deal. It would basically be very, very equivalent to the GeekPi 8U server cabinet, just a little bit shorter. And I'll probably also eventually print feet, because I have the holes on the bottom too, so I just can screw in some feet on the bottom. And yeah, relatively simple prints all around, but I think I'm really going to enjoy the final product.
Are you going to
Mostly-
keep that in the garage or in the
Yes,
house?
I will. I did consider moving it inside, but then I wouldn't be able to put well, I was thinking about moving it inside specifically because of the mini computer that I'm thinking about putting on there.
Mhm.
But if I did that and then I also took the Netgear inside, that wouldn't work, because then I wouldn't have proper networking out here in my home lab. So
Are you gonna, if you keep it in the garage, are you gonna put some kind of cooling on the rack or?
I don't think it will be required, but I have thought about putting, either what I can do is, and yes, I have thought about this, is get some 2Us that I can attach right here and extend this back, or a 1U and extend this back and put fans along the back. Or since I'm going to be designing for the side anyway, it might be better to put like some 120 millimeter fans on the side here.
That's what I did on mine. I put some old case fans on there.
Yeah. Do you have a 10-inch rack?
No, it was like one I custom built out of plexi, and you guys remember that, right? Franken server rack that I had all
Yep.
my SBCs on.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, but I used old case fans for cooling.
Yeah,
It
and I
worked out pretty good.
think I have some floating around, and that should be relatively easy. And I think that the 90 or the 80s or the 120s should fit here pretty well on the side. I've even considered moving all of the hard drives from my DAS onto this, although I'd probably switch to PETG for that. And then I don't know if I could get like 2 or 4. I did it 2U on each set, but right now I'm only using 4, but I eventually want to be able to use a total of 8 hard drives. And
Are
then
you
I'd
gonna
have
put a little power supply in there? Or?
I would have to put a power supply on it at that point, and that would probably mean putting it on the top and making it a little bit taller and putting like an enclosed shelf top.
I bought one of those slim PSUs. I think it was 300 watts, and it was real small. And then I bought the breakout board for it too.
Yeah, I would have to get either the breakout board so that it would turn on when I turned on the PC,
Yeah.
or I would have to bridge 2 pins on it if I got one of the 24-pin SATA or ATA or ATX PSUs.
Right. Yeah, it was
So-
real cheap too. I bought several of them just in case I screwed one up, and they were less than $5 a piece.
Like the
Breakout boards.
power supply in my DAS does not require that. got its own switch and everything, and it does not have the 24 pin. All it's got is a bunch of SATA connections on it,
Oh,
and a
okay.
couple of the old style. What are they? The IDE powers
Yeah.
that have converters on them.
Molex connector.
Molex, thank you. Connectors with adapters on them for the 80 millimeter fans that are currently in that case that are way too loud that I need to switch out. So I can see myself building on this for a good long time.
It's fun. They're fun.
Or maybe making a second one. Maybe designing my own micro ATX case. Just because spools of plastic are a lot cheaper than buying pre-made.
Yep.
Do you have the STLs up anywhere?
It's fun too.
No, most of these STLs that I'm getting are stuff that's already there that I just put together. I mean, the 4Us are on Thingiverse. Just look up rack rail 4U. And then, like, these I designed in like 5 minutes, and that's it. And then this, I think, was on Yegi, which is for the Netgear. And the shelves were also on Thingiverse, or Yegi, one of the two. But yeah, if you do a search on Thingiverse or any 3D printing site for 10-inch server rack, you are going to get a lot of stuff. Just nobody, like, I think I found one guy that had put the whole thing together himself, but he did it with his own design, and like I said, it was just way overdone. Oh, and then I got this controller board for the, what is it, the Toshiba monitors. I will have to get a second one, but I haven't tested this yet. I just got it in the mail yesterday. I want to 3D print a case for it that I found. Oh, what site was it? Because it wasn't Thingiverse that had that one. It was Printables. Printables actually had the correct model. But I will have to go with something else because for the control board, because a lot of people have control boards that are exactly the same. So I will have to look up a different set of STLs for the control board. But I'm going to get that all put together and then probably order a second one. And I have one power supply, so I'll have to order another power supply. But I'm going to make myself a couple of portable monitors out of those. I'll do it with the first one and see how I like it, and then see what other prints I can make to actually, make it stand up or make it mountable to standard 1/4-inch bolts so that it's adjustable. Might be too heavy for that, but I'm going to give it a shot. And then with the HDMI connection, I might replace this mini portable monitor that I have right here, something a little bit bigger, and see how it works out. I use that for hooking up my Samsung phone and a couple of other things. Testing out new equipment. So when I get my rack done, it'll probably end up with the mini PC on that. It'll probably end up connected up to the HDMI on that. Other than that, you already heard me talking about the headphones that I'm planning on working on.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it for me. What you guys been up to?
Well, so I was having problems